For this first exercise, we are going to change the opacity, okay? Opaque actually means that you cannot see through and light cannot go through an object. You can control the opacity of text or even imagery or video. So the first thing I want to do is I downloaded some of that stock footage from pexelsvideo.com. I'm going to click and drag that over. And then I am going to use the type tool to actually add text. So I'm going to click and drag to make a text box on my sequence, and I'm going to just call this effects. It's the name of my video. Okay. Now, once I have my text in here, I can control it with the Essential Graphics panel. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the effects word. I could change the font here. I'm gonna center it, and I'm also gonna increase the size of effects. And then I want to align the text box to the center of the panel. So this lets me vertically center and horizontally center effects. If we scroll down, you can see that last time I used this, I actually had a shadow. I'm going to leave that shadow on there. I can change the fill, the color. I like white. I like that classic look. So I'm going to leave those settings. So these are all the settings I could use for my text. And then notice that with my selection tool, I can continue to move that around the frame if I wanted to, or change the text box. So maybe I'll center that now that I made that smaller. Okay, so now I have effects, and I want this title to, you know what, I want it to appear and then fade over this clip. So I'm going to select it. We can now see that the text is on its own layer, video 2 here. I'm going to make sure that it's selected with the selection tool. Here it is. And now I'm going to go over to my effects control panel. And if I look here, we have some essential video effects that are going to be here for anything that we add to our video. So I'm going to go down to where it says opacity. Okay. And if it's not open, you can just click the arrow over here and see all the options. Okay. Now, when animating, okay, the first thing I need to do is pick or decompress what's called the stopwatch. Okay, so I am going to pay attention to where my current time indicator is. So I want to make sure that it's at the beginning of my clip here, and this is the current time indicator. And then I'm going to select the stopwatch and just once. Okay. So I'm going to select that here, and notice that it makes this little diamond. All right. At the beginning, I don't want to see the text at all. So I'm actually going to bring down the opacity of the text to 0 so I don't see it at all. I'm going to move in time to about halfway through to the clip, and then I'm going to change the value of this attribute. So we're changing the opacity. I'm going to bring it up to 100%. Okay, and remember what I said, I wanted it to not show at all. I wanted it to show 100% in the middle of the clip. And then at the end of the clip, I'm going to click and drag my current time indicator to the end of the clip. I'm going to change it back to 0. Okay, so now if I hit play, let me bring it back and hit play. We have some beautiful rushing water, and watch the timeline. Here it comes, and it's fading on. So fully opaque, and now it's fading in transparency again. Ta-da! Beautiful, right? Okay. Now, something else I didn't mention is that if you really screw up, one thing you could do is select a keyframe and just hit delete, or you could just hit the reset button to reset that parameter. So it's totally up to you how you want to control after you've added something to it if you you don't like it. I'm going to bring this open so I can see this a little bit more. Okay, so now there's no effect anymore. So that's how you do opacity.